and welcome back to Mrs. G's Living. I don't know if it's the braids that got you here or the fur coat, but either or. In today's video, we discuss the no spend, or in my case, low spend budget for the year. I know you've been seeing these videos go around about not spending for 2025, or in my case, I'm going to spend, but it's going to be a low spend. Whew! Let me take off this. I'm dying here. Radiator heat is no joke. I'm dying. Got to take off the fur. Whew! Got to take off the glasses. It's a reflection. Okay. Whew! Back to our normally scheduled programs. Oh, and I want to acknowledge that many of us are going into this year as no buy, or in my case, a low buy year, because of various reasons such as finances, inflation, maybe a new leadership or a project you want to get underway. For many reasons, many of us are leaning towards this low buy, no spending mind state. Now, me personally, I'm going into the low buy spending because it's more realistic to have a budget for the year instead of saying I'm not going to buy things, only the essential things. That's just, for me personally, that's setting me up for failure. So I have created 10 to 11 steps that I'm going to use moving forward with this low buying year. And so for me, the difference between a no buy means that you're only spending on essential items. That's it, like essential items such as grocery, daycare if you have children, transportation if you need to go to work, the essentials. Low buy means you're still only focusing on the essentials, but you're giving yourself a budget or a wiggle room to have leisurely things, steps that I'm going to use in order to practice this low buying year. So one, I'm going to assess my current finances. Like, how do you know how much you're spending if you don't assess your current finances? So I'm going to look at how much I'm spending for essential goods. And essential goods for me means groceries, transportation, because I need to go back and forth to work, my house expenses like mortgage, electrical bill, gas bill, those kind of are essentials that I just cannot get rid of. And then I'm going to look at my co-curricular leisurely expenses. So once I looked at my expenses, I'm going to set clear financial goals. So for my essential items, there are certain things that I cannot change. But for my groceries, I can tweak here and there. My grocery bills, I can tweak here and there by buying like the generic items and so forth. Now for my leisurely co-curricular activities, I can definitely create a more budget. So I have agreed to myself upon only spending $200 a month on my co-curricular or leisurely activities. Now, there are some activities that, as I said, this is a low budget, low buy year, and there are some activities I am not willing to compromise on, such as my husband and our love language is eating out. And so I'm not going to compromise on that to a certain extent because I don't want to be miserable. So I'm giving myself a $200 budget for my co-curricular activities, and in the event each month that I don't spend that $200, it's going to go automatically into savings. So that is the checks and balances for my leisurely items. Step 3, I'm going to categorize my expenses. So I looked at my finances and I'm going to categorize my expenses to see what are essential and what are not essential items, what expenses I can get rid of, and what expenses I cannot get rid of. As I said, transportation, if you live in the tri-state area, they have just started the congestion fee. The MTA has gone up $2.90. And everybody's like, oh, I'm not paying the fare. I'm too big and too old to be hopping turnstile. I'm gonna bust my butt. I am not hopping the train style. I'm gonna pay. So those are expenses I just cannot get rid of. 4, I'm going to create a realistic budget. So as I said, I know for me, $200 is a realistic budget for my co-curricular activities. And then my expenses, as far as groceries, transportation, there's a budget in mind I have as well. And I feel like those are realistic budgets. I can adjust as I move forward. Step 5, I'm going to cut unnecessary subscriptions. So I've taken some notes. So 5, I'm going to cut unnecessary subscriptions and memberships. It's something my husband and I have been doing. We had multiple subscriptions that we were paying for, and we realized we weren't watching all of those subscriptions. So recently, I'm thinking about cutting back on Netflix because I don't really watch Netflix like that. And Disney had this promotion where they give you 4 subscriptions. So Disney, I think it's Pixar, I think it's Hulu, and I think it's another one. And it is less than Netflix. And I don't even watch Netflix like that. I'm always on YouTube. So I'm going to cut back on Netflix. One thing I cut out is also my gym membership. And I realized with my gym membership, my gym was in a good place. It was stressing me out. And I was like, why am I paying money to be stressed out at a gym when I have, previous to this gym opening up maybe a few years ago, I had been working out at home and I've been successful working at home. So I just cut it off and went back to working at home. Step number 6, reduce food costs. So that is going to be challenging since the food prices keep going up and up and up. But however, there are some apps that will offer discounts or promo codes. Also, buying generic brand items to what you typically will buy, that's another way to save. Also, I go to 4 different grocery stores. And because I have compared and contrast which grocery store has quality food, which grocery store is affordable. So my top grocery store that I buy the bulk of things from, and I don't know if you have it where you're located, Lidl's. So I buy most of my stuff from Lidl's. I compared it to Aldi, and I feel like Lidl's is a little bit more affordable. However, Lidl's doesn't have the beauty and pharmacy items that I need. So in that case, then I go to Target. So when I'm looking for like deodorant, toothpaste, I go to Target. The third place I go to is we have ShopRite or Stop and Shop where we live. Now, Lidl's doesn't have all the meats that I need. They don't have sawfish. They don't have liver. So I actually have to go to the regular grocery store for that. And then the fourth place that I go to, occasionally I go to Aldi's for their specialty items. So I go to 4 different places for groceries. You need to shop around and find which grocery store is more affordable for you, and just realize you're going to have to go to multiple places at this point. Step number 7, limit impulse purchases. So my husband and I don't really do impulse purchases. If anything, we are overthinkers. If I'm going to spend $50 on something, I will think and think and think for days before I pull the trigger. Now, I know there are some of you that do impulsive shopping or impulsive purchases. So for example, I like Zars. I know that if I'm an impulsive person when it comes to shopping at Zars, I'm just not going to go to Zars. Or if I'm going to go to Zars, it's going to be within that $200 budget for that month, and I cannot spend anything else at that point. I'm going to find other activities that bring me that same kind of high and enjoyment. And for me, working out, walking, browsing online, watching inspirational videos gives me that same kind of impulsive feeling without the purchase. Okay, so those are some items. Step number 8, shop smarter. So there are so many apps out there where you can shop smarter. If there's an item that I'm interested in, the first thing I do is Google it to see if I can find it at a more effective or cost-effective price. And then I'll Google to see if there's a promotional code or discount code that I can use. So definitely shop smarter, or you can sell some of your older items that you are trying to get rid of so that you can have a little bit more cushion money to buy new things that you're interested in purchasing. So you definitely want to shop smarter. Step 9, free or low cost entertainment. So my husband and I love going to the movies. We typically go to the matinee, which is the first movie, because it's $6.50, as opposed to the other movies that come afterwards that are $12. You're paying $12 to $15 for a movie you can see for $6.50 and half the price. So entertainment, I know that my township tends to have like free jazz concerts, free concerts over the summer. So utilize that as well. And you can always go online, YouTube, TikTok, to find entertainment, okay? Step number 10, automated savings. So I just recently got rid of a bill, and say that bill was $250. Instead of leaving that bill into my regular checking account, I automatically, the same time that it was taking out of my my checking, I automatically have it go to my savings now. So it's like the bill still exists, but I'm actually paying myself. So that's one way you can do automated savings, or you can just do an automated savings for like $10 a month for the next year. Or me, I tend to have like a cookie jar that I use to stuff money in or loose change. It's something my husband and I have been doing for all the decades we've been together, and that has been beneficial as well. Step number 11, I want to track my spending. So I realized that, we think, I realized that I buy iced coffee and it's $2.50 from the cart. And if I times that by 4, that's it's a significant amount of money. And so we're thinking, $2.50 here, $6 here, but those things add up over the year, over the week, over the month. So what I've started to do is just buy iced coffee from Trader Joe's, and then I just bring it to work with me instead of going to the cart and paying $2.50 a day for an iced coffee. So step number 12, stick to your plan. Now, there are going to be some months where you're going to fall off. By all means, once you fall off, just get back on track. It's the same thing as if you fall off on your weight loss journey or any kind of journey. Once you fall off, don't continue to fall off for the rest of the year. Get your butt back on track. Get your butt back on track because you have goals to achieve. And the final step is step number 13, review and adjust. So review and adjust your budget. I'm starting with my co-curricular leisurely budget at $200. Now, if a life-altering event happens and it is affecting my income, of course, I'm going to adjust that $200. I'm probably going to adjust it to $50 if I need that excess of money. So feel free to adjust your budget for life-changing events. So I hope you love these steps. I am, just to give you a little bit background about myself, I know that I'm here sometimes giving fashion haul, fashion advice, beauty advice, but my background is I do have my master's. I've been in my field for a few years, actually a few decades. And I'm a homeowner, I'm a business owner, I have little to no debt. So, I'm just giving you my credentials on the steps I plan on taking in order to move forward on this low buying year. So what are other steps that you plan on taking? If you like videos like this, please like, subscribe, join our community. I am Mrs. G from Mrs. G's Living. Peace. We are out. Bye.